Nickeil, just how do you kind of process that one? How close you guys were and just couldn't quite get all the way over the hump?
Definitely sucks being that close, but at the end of the day, you got to look at why. And right now, they're facing reality, down 3-1. Not much time to really dwell in whether or not we're happy or not, or whatever the case may be, emotions aside. Got to focus on what's at hand and get to the next thing. And at this present moment, when you look back at the game, and it says it all right here, they had 19 offensive rebounds. We knew that's what they did. We knew that they wanted to turn us over. And we talked about it. Game 3, we didn't let them do that, and we seen the result. And so everything's out there. There's no secrets. They know how to beat us. We know how to beat them. It's just about going out there and doing it, and who wants it more, trying to execute it more. And we've shown that at times throughout this game, but consistency, that's all it has to be.
Donte, just what did you think? I mean, you had your game going. It seemed like in a really good rhythm. How did it kind of, just at the end, what made it difficult to just get all the way over?
Keel said it. It's turnovers and rebounds. It's a possession game in the playoffs, and I think they just, they dominated us in those categories, and, we still, I hate to say you only lost by 2, but that's where the hope comes. We're still together. We know what we're up against, uphill battle, but everybody's sticking together and understand that you try to look at this game and grab any sort of hope, and that was it. You lost the turnovers, you lost the offensive rebounds, and you lost by 2. So we know what the environment's going to be going in there on Wednesday, and we're trying to get another home game.
Nickeil, you were part of a group that was down 3-1 in the conference finals last year, and that was kind of the end of their journey. What can you take from these 2 games at home, the 40-point win, the 1 possession game tonight, that you can apply to Game 5 to extend this thing?
Got to play desperate, got to play like there's no tomorrow, because there isn't. And right now, if we want to win, it's not about how much we can score. It's about, can we get the stops? Can we rebound? Can we find a way to make winning plays relentlessly and consistently? So for us, that's the focus. For me, whatever that's going to look like tonight, it looked like whatever my production was. 2 days from now, it can be different. And so for me, the only thing I care about is seeing another day. Donte and I have a great relationship, and we talk all the time just about how we can help each other and how we can help the team. And as long as that's our focus, I have confidence that we can be okay.
And Donte, what do you make of Ant tonight? Not scoring as much as we're accustomed to, but continuing to play make and, kind of taking what the defense was giving him.
He just figured it out throughout the game. He was just, figuring out what the game needed, what we needed. Second half, I think he did a great job of getting downhill, just making the right play every time. He was getting to the cup when he could finish, and he was spraying it out to shooters on the perimeter. And I think when we go back and watch the film, the blueprint's there. We just have to go out and execute it for a full 48, and understand that it might not be a scoring night, or it might be a scoring night, but he needs to be aggressive and in attack mode at all times for us to have a chance.
Nickeil, can you describe the challenge of guarding Shai in a tight fourth quarter playoff game?
He's going to be aggressive. He knows that they're going to rely on him heavy, so he's not worried about, at this point in time, missed shots, because he knows it keeps coming back to him. And he knows who he has been all year for them, and they're going to keep relying on him. So the main thing is just trying to throw him off his rhythm. He has a lot of moves. He's going to be creative. He's seen every coverage that pretty much any team can throw at him. And so for me, it's just about trying to anticipate what he's going to do, make sure that every shot he takes is the tough shot, and defend without fouling. Took 14 free throws. I think it's easier said than done. It's kind of what he does. But finding ways to come up with stops. We made him miss a bunch. Sometimes they got it back. So the tough thing about it is, do we capitalize when we actually do the right things? And that's what's going to matter.
Do you look forward to maybe the discussions you guys will have when this series is over about what it was like to go up against each other?
Only if I win, to be honest.
Nickeil, outside of closing the possessions with defensive rebounds, how did you feel you guys just guarded in the half court defensively? What was working with the defense? What could have been better as a team?
Our gaps are good. Finishing plays could have been better. Just finding ways to come up with those stops. Second efforts from the gaps to closeouts. Jalen Williams made 2 or 3 big shots for them down that stretch. That kind of, when we cut it to 2, you put it to 5. Cut it to 2, you put it to 5 again. So multiple efforts on those flyouts, stunts, all 5 staying connected. That could have been a little bit better to help us, I think, solidify that.
Donte, what makes it so challenging playing them when you're kind of fighting uphill like you did in Game 2 tonight to try to get over the hump? Just what makes it so challenging trying to come back on this team?
They're a good team. They're a great team. They finished, first in the NBA for a reason. They just, stay with it throughout the game. They get to where they want to get to, and they get to the free throw line at crucial moments. And I think we have to, weather that storm and do our best to not put them on the free throw line. I think when we're playing with a pace to us and keeping them off the line and keeping them, out of their rhythm, which is that gives us a chance. So it is tough. They're all a tough cover. They're good players, but we know what we have to do. I said it before, the blueprint's there. We just have to go out and execute it for a full 48.
One of the differences in this game is that they were able to get your 2 top scorers off the ball. You guys weren't able to get their 2 top scorers off the ball. You guys outshot them in terms of accuracy and everything, but what difference does that make in terms of the way teams play? Does it matter that like Ant and Julius weren't able to get off as easily and that their 2 top guys were dominant in terms of both points and assists?
They had 19 offensive rebounds, and we had 23 turnovers. It doesn't matter who's going to score. You can't win a game with those numbers right there. If those 2 guys are the ones scoring, we take everybody else away, it might be a different result. But the offensive rebounds and the turnovers, you take away the quote-unquote junk points, and it's a whole different game.
Just piggybacking off what Donte said, they're going to be aggressive, and they're going to be, at this point in time, they've walked through so many scenarios. They know every team would love to get the ball out of Shai's hands and out of Jaden's hands, but they're not going to just allow us to trap them all game. And the way their system set up is different from where our system set up. And fortunately, we have depth to where we can be in a 2-point game with our 2 guys who aren't, and that's who we are. We have to play to our identity and our strengths, but can't be caught up in necessarily what they're doing. It's just got to be who can play to their identity the best, who's going to stay within their strengths.
Any other questions? You guys have been through a lot this season and feed off being the underdogs. How are you going to keep that belief intact going into Game 5?
Shit, there's no other mindset to have.
Yeah.
Win, you go home. So,
Yeah.
like I said, we're just trying to get another home game, trying to play in front of our home crowd again, and go out there on Wednesday and, like Nickeil said, play like you're going home. And, when everybody's counted us out all year. So, like you said, we've been through a lot. We're together as a locker room. We don't care what the media's going to say. We don't care what, TV's going to say. Like I said, we're focused on one game at a time and just give ourselves a chance on Wednesday.
Just not conceding to the situation, finding a way, and just got to want it more. The good thing about it is in this situation, every time we've had a coming to terms, talk within each other, we've always responded well. I don't know what it was, but I think it was in Phoenix or something. Finchie called us out, and we went 17-4 to end the season. Prior to that, we had another run where we were able to figure it out right before injuries. We have a resilient group, and I trust in that group.
Obviously, your individual performances, you can't really celebrate because of the loss. But Nickeil, do you think that your performance made Charles Barkley at least know your name now?
You know, a lot of people say that, you know, at least like now he's going to know how to pronounce your name. But as long as my family know how to say it and the people I love know how to say it, and at this point in time, I could care less. I just want to win. You know, whether or not he knows my name, cool. We still got games to win. And, you know, hopefully this isn't our last game and we can make something special happen.